Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a great and wonderful day. Well, more on the trans thing. More of these W's are coming out. More kids are being saved. More women's sports are being saved. Everything is going fine, at least in this retrospect. The trans community is probably going to be raging, but it's okay. As I said before, trans people have this amazing ability to complain about everything that is irrelevant. It doesn't harm them, but harms other individuals in the process. And we have this with the NAIA, removing that. We have this. Small colleges, NAIA, Small Colleges Association, approves ban on trans athletes from women's sports. The National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics announced Monday it will ban transgender women from participating in women's sports. The National Small College Organizations Council of Presidents approved in a 20-vote a policy that only students who are assigned the female gender at birth could compete in women's sports. The new policy also blocks transgender women or non-binary students who are receiving masculinizing hormone therapy. So that means even if you're getting hormone therapy, even if you're getting all these other injections and stuff, you can't compete anymore. You are not allowed to. And great on this. This was such a dominating vote that nobody voted against this. We know there are a lot of different opinions out there, and NAIA President Jim Carr told CBS Sports, Dennis Dodd, "For us, we believed our first responsibility was to create fairness and competition in the NAIA." He said the NAIA also believes in its new policy aligns with the reasons Title IX was created. "You're allowed to have separate but equal opportunities for women to compete," Carr said. He told CBS Sports that all NAIA athletes who are no longer eligible for women's competition could still participate in men's sports. A student has begun hormone therapy and may participate in activities such as workouts, practices, and team activities, but not interscholastic competition. With the exception of competitive cheer and competitive dance, the NAIA created separate categories for male and female participants, the NAIA said. Each NAIA sport includes some combination of strength, speed, and stamina, providing competitive advantages for male student athletes. As a result, the NAIA policy for transgender student athletes applies to all sports for competitive cheer and competitive dance, which are open to all students. Now, here's my only issue that I have with this, and not necessarily the sport in itself, but the competitive cheer and dance. My only problem with this here is because that means that you would still be allowed into the women's bathrooms and stuff like that and locker rooms. So with this, it's a concern for me, mostly just due to the fact that they'll enter these bathrooms as kind of what these sickos want, right? They want the ability to look at women or half-naked women or what have you that are in the actual what you would call in the bathrooms. That's how they get their fetish, their kink off, right? So I don't really agree with this in the sense of them being allowed in the bathrooms. However, if they are not allowed in the bathrooms and they just want to do competitive cheer and stuff like that because there's not really any physical activities or anything at all related to it, and in fact it might be easier for some of them for some of the women because, you know, women are usually less heavier than men, then that's fine. If they're not allowed in the bathrooms, they have to go into a separate locker room or whatever to do this type of stuff, then I have no issue. I have issue with them entering the locker room because that's just a disaster waiting to happen. But as I digress, this is all good and great. The organization is believed to be the first to mandate that athletes to compete according to their assigned sex at birth. There is no known number of transgender athletes at the high school and college levels, though it is believed to be small. It's always small. Guys, the transgender movement, the transgender people, they're a very small minute of our population. So it's literally the minority trying to take over the majority, and that's disgusting. The majority of people don't identify as transgender. The majority of people don't have these mental problems where they have to identify this. And as I've shown you before, there have been men videotaping women in a actual setting to where they're, where they're changing, and that is just completely disturbing, right? That that's not okay. He was videotaping them changing. So again, this is what's being allowed here, and I want to stop this. Mostly for the kids, because again, sorry ladies, but 70% of you vote Democrat, so I'm not saying the ones that on my channel do, or the ones that are voting Democrat, but what I'm saying here is 70% are voting Democrat, which means 70% of you are allowing this type of debauchery to happen, which means you're allowing them to be into your bathrooms and stuff like that. If you want this to stop, and you want your kids to be safe, vote differently. That's all I'm saying. You don't even have to vote Republican, because Republicans are terrible too. But either don't vote or vote centrist, because at the very least, we won't have you guys being violated in any type of way. Let me put it that way. The NAIA is the National Athletic Governing Body for 249 mostly small colleges and about 83,000 student athletes in more than 25 sports. The organization's membership is about 80% private schools and is not part of the NCAA's 3 divisions of competition. I may be NCAA, but I probably may referencing from Drexel here, but I digress. Hours after the NAIA announcement, the NCAA released a statement. College sports are the premier stage for women's sports in America, and the NCAA will continue to promote Title IX, make unprecedented investments in women's sports, and ensure fair competition for all students, athletes, in all NCAA championships. Shiwali Patel, senior counsel at the National Women's Law Center, said her organization was outraged by the NAIA policy. No, you want women to be violated, you want them to feel unsafe, you want to hurt them in some type of way. They go on to say this is unacceptable and blatant discrimination that not only harms trans, non-binary, and intersex individuals, but limits the potential of all the athletes. No, it doesn't. It doesn't limit anybody, because you can go and participate in the actual males competition, and it'll be completely fine. It doesn't harm anyone. They can go change in the male's room, they can go participate in the male's sports, or, here's one thing, why haven't you guys spoken up about creating your own separate transgender sports, where both men and women can enter and compete, and call it trans sports? Why haven't you done that yet? I know why you haven't done that yet. Because it doesn't fit the narrative, it won't move your agenda forward, and it won't get your guys a sick kink that you want, and it won't remove the ability of women. That's what you want. So let's put that perfectly clear here. It's important to recognize that these discriminatory policies don't enhance fairness in the competition. Instead, they send a message of exclusion and reinforce dangerous stereotypes that harm all women. No, it doesn't. Your actual ability to saying this is harming women. By the way, let's look at this person, shall we? I'm not trying to make this video too long, but let's look at this person. You're a clown! You're a bloody clown! You're a clown, and you don't care about women at all. You don't care about them at all. You're a clown. Alright? So, there we go. Here we have that. The topic of transgender athletes has become a hot-button issue among transgender groups and others who believe transgender athletes should not be allowed to compete on girls and women's sports teams. Yes, and I agree. So, nonetheless, 20-0 vote. NAIA says that people cannot be able to, men cannot compete in women's sports or trans individuals, and I'm all here for it. This is a huge victory for the ladies and the children, mostly the women children, and hopefully we can keep on moving as a society to where normalcy comes into reality rather than fiction and insanity. And as I made my video before, majority of the kids grow out of this type of a transgender ideology anyways, so that 15-year-old study is really putting a damage onto you. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.